Okay, we're going to have a little fun with Reddit's Am I the Asshole? I chose one that looks like it's going to be one I'm going to have an opinion on. So, here we go. Am I the asshole for having my husband's friend kicked out for bringing his 4 kids to my child-free wedding? Disclaimer, I'm child-free. Not a child hater for those who misunderstand such things. Just child-free. Don't want any of my own. My husband, 30, and I, 30, got married 2 weeks ago. We decided on a child-free wedding due to venue choice, food choice, alcohol, location, etc. We included this rule in every invitation, including the one my husband's bestie, Leo, 35, who is a widower with 4 kids. Leo complained to my husband about the rule, but that is that. At the wedding, my husband said he was worried his friend Leo may not come since I refused to let him bring his kids. But about almost an hour into the wedding, we started hearing noise from a distance. We look closely and see Leo standing there with his 4 kids dressed nicely. He's arguing with the staff about the kids not being allowed. I felt horrible because the staff was drilling that this is an adult-only wedding, and the kids needed to leave, but Leo kept arguing and went as far as to yell out my husband's name, telling him to come tell the staff off since it's his wedding. I was so upset and embarrassed, but I kept my composure and went over to talk to Leo. I told him to either get the kids somewhere else and come back, or just leave. He acted offended, saying that this to his excuse me. He acted offended, saying this is his best friend's wedding and he was invited to it. I said I was sorry, but the rule is followed by everybody, and everybody should respect that. He argued about how he wasn't just a random guest, but was family, but I said it still applies. I insisted he make his choice, but he doubled down talking about how he couldn't find babysitter and how he shouldn't have to miss his best friend's wedding. I had the staff escort him and his kids out after he kept pushing, which led to some of my husband's friends to complain, saying Leo has special circumstances because he's a widower, and it's essentially my fault for not providing babysitting options for guests. Wedding went on after that, but my husband was angry. He said this is his best friend that I just caused to miss his wedding. He said Leo stopped answering his calls, till today, and respond to his messages because of what I did. Now my husband believes that I have just ruined his relationships with his friend when I could have just made an exception for him and kids since they were there already. Am I the asshole? Edit. Just so you know, my husband was on board with this rule. He wanted me to make an exception for his friend and his friend only. My family and friends would have felt deeply hurt if I said yes. She's not the asshole. Leo very definitely is. And the husband very definitely is. Um, Leo knew about it beforehand. Leo showed up hoping that he could just crash through the rules. It wasn't like they swung it on him when he got there. He knew about it ahead of time. So if there was any discussion to be had or pleading for exceptions, anything of that type, or asking help to acquire a babysitter, it should have been done ahead of time. And if those things could not be allowed or couldn't be arranged, then he should have accepted it. She's not the asshole because none of this was sprung on Leo. Leo just tried to gate crash, essentially. And her husband is now holding her at fault for Leo being angry that he couldn't gate crash and violate the rules that everyone else had to follow, that he knew about ahead of time. And the providing babysitting options for guests, that is a level of entitlement that is just, it escalates what he was trying to do. That he would say that sort of thing, that he would think that sort of thing. I mean, whether you have children or not, when you're invited to go out to a girls or guys or movie nights with the friends that's just adults, or you're asked to go out to a bar, anything where it's just like, hey, we adults are going out, or spouses, when it's like, we just want a night that's a couple's date, special night. You know, anniversary, random Friday, whatever. It's just some reason that it's a night without the children. You don't tell other people to arrange babysitting for you. I've babysat many a times. It has never been like the friend who asked the person I'm babysitting for randomly contact me and be like, I need to arrange babysitting for such and such friend. No. It has always been the parent judging, do I or do I not want to go to this event? How important is it? Can I or can I not get a sitter? If so, great. If not, I'll have to skip this. And sometimes it's like a nothing event. It's like, it's not a big deal. Sometimes it's a major event, but that is, I'm sorry, part of what you sign up for when you decide to have children. You accept that for being a parent, there are going to be times that you are going to miss out on things. And that's a trade-off that any choice in lifestyle has. You have to decide between, my work's going to come first, my children are going to come first, my health is going to come first, my education is going to come first, you know. Whatever happens to be the lead role in your life. And hell, not even the lead role. In everyday life, we have to make decisions of what's going to be the priority. And when you're a parent, and assuming you're a good parent, your children are pretty darn close to the top of the list. So, if not the top, then only secondary to, like, your special significant other who's kind of important for the children, you know? In what I assume are healthy cases. Well, dysfunctional situations are aside. So sometimes you have to miss important things. Heck, I'm child free, and there are important life events of people that I love that I have missed because other things just had to take precedence and couldn't be gotten around. That is simply life. And Leo knew ahead of time. He knew ahead of time. He shouldn't have shown up expecting an exception. It should have been worked out beforehand. Either yes, an exception, or no, there won't be. And either there was no discussion by him beforehand, or the discussion was had and no exception was made firm. Let me scroll back through this. Did he talk to them? I don't. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything mentioned. Yeah, I didn't forget. It doesn't seem to say anything mentioned about him bringing up this issue and addressing possibilities with the couple beforehand. He just showed up at the wedding with his kids. No. You're. No. You don't do that. She's not the asshole. She just maintained the rule that he already knew and that her husband agreed upon, but wanted to back down when he was faced with his friend getting in his face. Ultimately. So, I hope he and his friend both grow up. That's my take on it. They should have worked it out beforehand, and if he couldn't come, he couldn't come. You don't try to pull stuff at the wedding or at an event. Communicate beforehand and then stick with what you agree. And if he didn't convey otherwise beforehand, he was agreeing. So that's my opinion on that. There you go. Whether you like me or hate me for it. She is not the asshole. I assume you understand the buttons below? Oh dear Lord, use them however you feel is accurate. Otherwise, talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.